What do we have for Aquarius? Ten of Wands, Sag energy at the foundation of the reading, Aqua. The first download, first message that I got for you pertaining to this reading was regarding some sort of idea, some sort of move that you've been hesitating making. Now, I feel that life has become all consuming and is distracting you from taking some sort of path that, well, I actually feel that this is something that you asked for. And I got a similar message in the Taurus reading, right? It's like they prayed or meditated on something and it showed up and they were still wondering where it was, but it was essentially right in front of them. However, the difference here with you is you know that this thing is just sitting there, but for some reason, you have yet to put some sort of action behind this. Now, there's many different things this can be. It's going to show up differently for each one of you, but it could range from some sort of creative project, some sort of brilliant $1 million idea that the divine has blessed you with that you're not doing anything with. It could pertain to a move. It could pertain to just anything that is going to help align you with your path. But something else here is redirecting all your energy. Now, the Ten of Wands at the foundation, at the root chakra of your energy, is giving me the everyday grind of life, right? These are all the excuses we make up on the daily to not do something. Well, I can't do that because I have this going on. You know, I have too much responsibility to be able to do that. This sort of stuff. And we can all relate to this, right? But you need to be careful here, Aqua, because I feel that whatever it is that you're putting off is something very important. You know, there's been a lot of messages coming through in the readings lately about timeline jumping. I feel that the reason for this is because it's just in the collective energy right now, right? We're all at this point in our lives where we're making big moves, making big decisions, aligning with different possibilities, jumping timelines, right? And it's not difficult to see how this is also taking place on the world stage. There's a great reorganization. And not only is it showing up in your individual life, Aqua, but it's showing up globally as well. But it's important that you are also paying attention to all of this and not pushing things aside when the divine is blessing you with something that you asked for. You know, it's very important that you're very proactive around whatever this is and you take the bull by the horns, Aqua, because if you don't, this is you telling the universe that you don't really care and you're not as serious as you presented yourself to be. And so as you move further down your path and you pray, you meditate, or you're trying to manifest things into your life, you'll be met with restriction. Things will become harder to gain access to. And this can be said about following your intuition, right? People who follow their intuition are strengthening their intuition. But if you're receiving downloads, messages intuitively from the divine, and you're not putting action behind that, then you're weakening that intuitive muscle, okay? Now, this is very easy for us to do in this world we live in, right? This is just us slipping back in to the matrix, the everyday grind. So right now, Aqua, you're really being called to pay attention to what is being presented to you and to also pay attention to the things that are distracting you from focusing on these things that you're being blessed with. This energy that you have here is incredibly heavy. It's like you're taking on everybody else's responsibilities in some capacity here and putting zero energy and time into your path. Right? It's like you're helping everybody else with what they need help with and leaving yourself with breadcrumbs. However, this may be showing up for you. What do we have at the sacral, please? Wow. Unbelievable. This literally just followed what I said. 7 of Swords at the sacral, right? This is everybody stealing your time and energy away, right? Looking back like, oh my God, I can't believe Aqua just gave all this to me. Do they even pour back into themselves, or do they just give to everybody else? 7 of Swords is also shadow Aquarius energy. Now, these are people who are essentially taking advantage of you in some capacity, your time, your energy. This could be family members, this could be friends, this could be work responsibilities. And what I've noticed, Aqua, is that there'll be an increase in this before you're getting ready to have a breakthrough. Also a similar message in the Taurus reading about this as well, right? The fall before the rise. You almost feel like things are moving backwards when they should be moving forwards. But it's to bring some sort of recognition, some sort of focus on what needs to be transmuted as a means to push through to the other side. So with all this energy that we're picking up on, Aqua, which seems like a lot of restriction and delay and just stress and burden, I feel that as we develop through the reading, we're going to find that it's because of what is preparing to come through for you. The Seven of Swords is also at the sacral, right? Your sacral is all related to your creativity, your passion, your optimism from life. It's like there's some sort of dream killer energy here. For a lot of you, this is your environment as well. There's just something that's very unsupportive on your path moving forward. You know, this is very interesting as well, because I feel that you've gotten to a point in your life, Aqua, that in order to push through to the other side of whatever this is here, you know that big changes need to be made here. And sometimes before people make big changes, they'll give way too much of themselves to the individuals that they're preparing to leave behind. Wow. You know, Aqua, usually when I'm getting messages and downloads, I barely have any time to think about it, right? I just have to think about it enough so I can articulate it and organize it in a cohesive manner so all of you can understand what I'm saying. But that particular line, what I just said, that just came out of my mouth with zero thought. It's almost like it didn't even land in my mind. It went from source out of my lips into your ears without any thought whatsoever. So there's something interesting about that statement as well. It almost suggests that maybe there's some guilt here, Aqua. Do you feel guilty about what you know you need to do? Or do you feel guilty that you have this great opportunity and others don't? There's something going on there, Aqua. Again, it's going to be different for all of you, so you need to just place that as it fits. But I am picking up on some guilt here. It's like you're giving so much of yourself because you're guilty about something. But I feel for a lot of you, this guilt is rooted in something that you don't even have any control over, or rather had any control over. You know, guilt, a lot of the time, there's always going to be exceptions, is something that we pick up, obviously, on our path, but it can really be sourced in our childhood. We're raised to feel like we always need to give too much of ourselves. We're raised with some sort of guilt that is never ours. Right? It's usually given to us, generationally speaking, by the authority around us. It's like we carry the burdens of our forefathers. Wow, right? 10 of Wands. There's going to be one card that represented that. That would be it. Now, this has a way of coloring your path. So all of a sudden you have these opportunities come through, these blessings show up, and you hesitate. You don't really take action immediately. There's some sort of psychological restriction there, Aqua. Some of you, I feel like, are really thinking about this too. It's like you're trying to dissect the psychology as to why you aren't pushing in a certain direction when it's staring you right in the face. And you've been asking for whatever this is here for a long enough amount of time that you should be seizing the moment. You should be seizing the opportunity. What do we have? The solar plexus? Seven of Swords again. Wow. Unbelievable. So obviously I just changed decks here, Aqua, and out of 156 cards, right, 78 cards in each deck, we get this energy, Seven of Swords back to back. See, this Seven of Swords is slightly different because it looks like somebody who's preparing something, right? It's like they're saying, I'll definitely be able to get one over on Aqua. They're a sure thing. And I'm getting some energy here around enabling other people's bad behavior, Aqua. And you also need to understand, Aqua, anybody who you allow to take advantage of you to this capacity is somebody who you need to eradicate from your life immediately, okay? And I'm actually starting to make sense of this message that's coming through now, and I'm starting to understand why all this is taking place. It's very clear to me, Aqua, that the universe has you in a sort of backpedaling kind of energy of hesitation, right? It's almost like you're not making a move because you need to understand something. You need to realize something. You need to see the truth about these energies you've been dealing with before you move forward because they cannot go with you. So it's like the universe has put you in this position so you can take note of just how much people would take advantage of you if given the opportunity to. What do we have at the heart, please? 5 of Wands, Leo energy at the heart of the reading, Aqua. Just as I thought. Makes perfect sense now what's taking place here. You're basically being positioned to be victimized by these energies as a means to expose them. This is one of these energies that's always the precursor to somebody's great success. It's like the universe wants you to really see these individuals' true colors, because where you're going, where obviously they cannot go, they're going to be given a front row seat to something great that is about to unfold in your life, Aqua. This energy I have on this table is absolutely horrendous. 10 of Wands, 7 of Swords, followed by the 7 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. This is a lot of restriction. This is a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges. The energy here is very, very tense, okay? There's a heavy energy of betrayal weaving through this spread here. I mean, I only have 4 cards on the table, and I feel like you're trying to fight some sort of battle to get to where you're going. Now, for some of you, this may not even be somebody who's in your environment. It might be something psychological, right, that you've picked up from people, okay? So some of you are dealing with people. Some of you are dealing with the aftermath of somebody's bad treatment towards you, almost like an energy of PTSD, right? Some sort of psychological abuse that you've dealt with. And now as you're trying to step into this new season of your life, you're dealing with all this psychological restriction. Aqua, there's a significance to this path that's opening up for you. I can't even really begin to put into words just how important it is for you to start seeing the truth or to start understanding certain kind of truths, depending on how this energy of restriction is impacting you, so you can really start pushing forward in this direction that you're being called to move in. What I'm looking at here and what I'm feeling is nothing short than somebody that has an extraordinary amount of creative potential that is being held back by a very dark, sinister force. Again, it could most certainly be environmental, or it's something that you've picked up on your path that needs to be transmuted, right? Some sort of shadow work that you need to face off with. Something that's been, well, again, just keeping you from aligning with your true north to its fullest capacity, right? Now, we all deal with this. This is just life, okay? There's probably not a single person listening to this right now that doesn't have at least one thing that they know is holding them back from being an even better version of themselves. It's always going to be like that from now until the very end of this life cycle for you, Aqua, okay? But this one here is big. There's a significance to this, and you may not even actually begin to understand just how big it is until you get to the other side and you look back and you're like, wow, I can't believe how far I've come. What do we have at the throat, please? Wow. 8 of Wands, Gemini energy at the throat. Now, Aqua, what we're seeing here is the psychological impacts of what I've been picking up being highlighted with this 8 of Swords at the throat. Originally, we were speaking about what felt like something that was environmental to you. But then as we progressed, I started to pick up on it also possibly being something psychological. And that's exactly what this 8 of Swords at the throat is speaking about. Because what the 8 of Swords really represents is some sort of self-imposed restriction. It's like you have decided that you need to stay inside some sort of energy, some sort of space, whether it's literal or whether it's having to do with some sort of mindset, some sort of limited framework that you have built around who you think you are supposed to be in this life cycle that isn't even of your creation anyway. It's some sort of influential resistance that has jumped on for the ride somewhere in your path, and now here you are in this very moment needing to face off with this so you can push forward. You know, Aqua, I've seen this energy before because I've been through this, okay? This is no easy task, especially when it's something that you've been holding on to for, well, your entire life for a lot of you. But this really is the end of the line now, Aqua. it's time that you face this. It's really coming down to it being a kind of fear, right? It's like the divine has placed something in the palm of your hand, metaphorically speaking. Oh man, it could be literal for some of you. Just really depends on what it is. Now here you are staring at it, feeling it, but you're frozen. It's like you're frozen in time. You know, I remember when I went through this, it triggered a kind of existential crisis for me because I started to realize that all of the excuses that I had made up in my life not to move in a certain direction was actually based on some sort of psychological abuse that I actually was subjected to earlier on in my life. But you've gotten to a point now, Aqua, where you can actually say no more and remove yourself from this self-imposed restriction. I mean, it really is an energy of imprisonment. That's what the Eight of Swords is. But you have the key to unlock the door. You don't need to be there. And there's something here around communication as well. For some of you, this might actually come down to you needing to communicate something, whether it's to someone external to you, or maybe it's just something you need to communicate to yourself. Maybe it's an agreement you need to make with yourself. And now I'm starting to pick up on something having to do with your higher self. There's almost like this split taking place there. So you can actually sit down and have a conversation with future you. This is also something that's been coming up in some of the readings, right? You know, when I speak about timeline jumping, I speak about it in terms of us having a future version of ourselves, let's say on another timeline. And that other version of ourselves is where we want to be. But we need to remove some sort of shackles in order to transmit our conscious awareness into that future point, that alternate timeline. This is where you're at. I mean, this is an energy of being between worlds. Huge energy here, Aqua. And even though I have an energy like this on this table, this is going to lead to something extraordinary. I can feel it, Aqua. But right now, it's really important that you fight for this. And the way you fight for this is facing off with what is standing in front of you right now. Don't allow it to make you curl up in a little ball in a corner anymore. There's some sort of inner child that you need to embrace right now, Aqua. And I feel that this is this meeting that you're having with your higher self, right? This advanced version of you that you're preparing to come into alignment and calibration with. All of this that you're dealing with right now will become a fading memory. And you are so incredibly close, Aqua. What do we have at the third eye? Wow. Knight of Pentacles leaning towards the reverse landed right on top of that Seven of Swords and that Five of Wands. You know, there's some Aquas out there that don't want to come to terms with this, that this or they, whatever it is for you, aren't actually what is standing in your way. It's very important that you understand, Aqua, that if this is what you've concluded, then they have you right where they want you. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse is a very obsessive, very stubborn, very self-serving energy. Now, it's self-serving in the sense that whoever you may be dealing with could care less about the way they're treating you. And the stubborn side of that energy, I feel, is you refusing to accept this, Aqua, no matter how much evidence the universe has propped down right in front of you. It's also an energy that is suggesting that maybe you think something will change, and that's not going to be for all of you. It's only going to be for some of you. And it can also speak about you feeling stuck, but the answer is right in front of you. This Knight of Pentacles in reverse is also positioned right underneath the third eye chakra. Third eye chakra is all connected to your vision. This vision, right? That gift, that blessing, whatever it is. But when you have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this is an energy that's been handed, essentially, what they asked for, but they're just standing there, right? It's almost like you're just standing there looking at it like, I wonder, what should I do with that? It's like the universe handing you the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, and you're just looking at the key, knowing what awaits you. Now, I feel that this is really going to speak about more of the psychological or spiritual effects of whatever you may be dealing with here, Aqua. See, this is all unfolding in a perfect divine order. You're meant to see it this way, to be able to heal it. You're meant to see just how sinister and how deeply rooted this energy is. And again, Aqua, I fully relate to this because I've been through this. But the universe is really trying to encourage you to take a different perspective, right? It's like you need to shift your vantage point. Look at things from a higher perspective. I quite often say that when you're feeling stuck, look at your life through the eyes of the universe, through the eyes of God, right? It's like you're looking down over your life from a much higher vantage point. All the tiny little details in between, all the major moves the universe needs you to take in your life are very insignificant, right? This is one of those moments. It's just a bunch of meaningless little pieces of noise that are holding you back from some sort of major breakthrough here. And right as I was saying that, I was actually seeing the world and the Wheel of Fortune in my mind's eye. And then I have the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck, okay? So Wheel of Fortune is all about life cycles. It represents your destiny, a turning point, okay? So this is what you're heading towards. But see how you got the devil there, and then you have this little demon here? And it's almost like they're sliming up your new beginning, right? It's like this is the new life cycle. This is the portal you have to go through, and these demons are just kind of hanging around. It's like they're loitering at the portal for your new beginning. I've never actually looked at that card and thought about it that way. What do we have at the crown, please? Wow. Seven of Swords. Again, Aqua. At the crown. So we have 3 decks on the table, and I pulled the Seven of Swords from all 3 decks. But this Seven of Swords is very different because, as you can see now, this person is stepping into a trap. See, and what this is actually triggered by, right, is you having an understanding of everything we're saying here, and your conscious awareness beginning to calibrate and culminate into that you on that alternate timeline. They think business as usual, right? But this time, they try to get up to their same old tricks, and they walk into a trap. Now, this is that psychological or spiritual resistance that I picked up for some of you as well. It could be you recognizing this and addressing it when you feel it unearth and come to the surface, right? I mentioned that I've been through this before. And just because I've been able to move on from this in my life, Aqua, doesn't mean that it doesn't try to come back up to the surface. Anytime I'm trying to do something significant in my life, I've just gotten really good at noticing it. And when that self-doubt creeps through, or the restriction that I personally dealt with in my life, I'm able to recognize it for what it is. I'm able to compartmentalize it and put it where it belongs, right? It's almost like a spiritual filing cabinet that we all have. We start to understand the shadow aspects of ourselves that were created by all this karmic baggage we've picked up on our path. We've made peace with all of it. And our deeper understanding of how this all works and unfolds in our life now allows us to be able to catch it and put it back where it belongs. It really is like giving these shadow aspects of yourself a hug, right? As opposed to fearing these things and allowing them to take the driver's seat in your life. The fact that I have 3 Seven of Swords here on this table is speaking about shadow work. It's just been confirmed here over and over again, Aqua. This is the key to break through to the other side. The best version of yourself has yet to be. And how exciting is that, knowing that the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? And once you start to understand what we're channeling through for you here, you're going to be able to tap into your inner superpowers and release this magic into the world. See, sometimes, Aqua, we don't need to pull the best cards in the tarot deck to give you a powerful reading. Sometimes I have to dig through the darkness to extract the greatness that is about to unfold in your life. What do we have at the foundation, please? Oh, I didn't see that. 7 of Wands. Okay, we're going to take both of them. Wow. 7 of Wands. Seven of Wands, Seven of Swords, Seven of Swords, Seven of Swords. So you have most of the cards of resistance and obstacles on this table, Aqua. The Seven of Wands, this is another one. This is an energy that wants you to feel discouraged and overwhelmed, right? Like you're disadvantaged. It's an energy that wants you to give up. And it's right underneath that Ten of Wands. So confirming everything we're saying here. I don't know who you're dealing with, Aqua, or who's around you, or I don't know who has subjected you to this spiritual abuse, but you are going to turn this around into something great. You're going to put purpose behind all of this. Wheel of Fortune. Right between the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Wands, and across from this Ten of Wands. At the sacral. There's a lot of rapid change that's going to start unfolding in your life, Aqua, as soon as you start to understand and compartmentalize what we are telling you here. This Wheel of Fortune is that turning point. Remember, I saw the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck when we were at the end of this first row. This is also speaking about this big picture vision you have. There's something monumental here, Aqua. You know, something that I experienced today, Aqua, that was also for this reading, was in regards to a song that I heard. The hours leading up to this reading here, I was thinking about your energy, collecting my downloads and messages that pertain to this reading. And I started to think about one of my dogs that passed away in 2016. I had him for nearly 16 years. And when I lost him, it impacted me pretty bad. I wasn't ready for it. It all unfolded in 24 hours, right? There was no lead up to it. I didn't know he was sick or anything. I just lost him, and that was it. And it crushed me. But I started to think about him, and I started to get emotional. I had a memory of him. And all of a sudden, this song started to play. I had the radio on, and it was Stand By Me by Benny King, right? When I was a little kid, the song Stand By Me was my favorite song, and so was the movie. For those of you that may be too young to remember that movie, it came out in the 80s. It had River Phoenix, Will Wheaton, Corey Haim, and Corey Feldman in it. And I had the vinyl. I used to play the vinyl record all the time when I was a kid. I've always loved that song. And the way the song started playing after I had these thoughts about my dog was very significant. It was almost like my dog put the song on, Stand By Me. And so as I was embracing that moment with some man tears rolling down my face, I immediately thought about you. And I was like, okay, what is going on here? Why is this all happening? What's the significance of this? And the reason why this all unfolded, Aqua, the way it did, is because I feel that I needed to tell you what I went through here to give you some sort of an idea of what I feel you may be dealing with as well. And this speaks about nostalgia, memories, that I feel a lot of you are having right now. And the reason why you're having these is because it's like a final review before you are elevated to this new timeline. It's almost like you're thinking back on moments in time, moments in your life that were very significant to you. And these memories may be coming out of nowhere. So pay attention to this, because this is another way for you to understand where you are on your path, okay? And the other message that I got from that as well, Aqua, is that you're not alone, okay? Maybe some of you have passed on loved ones or pets that are watching over you, that are helping you and protecting you during this time, okay? They want you to know how proud of you they are and how proud of you for how far you've come. You know, when I was having these memories of my dog, it really felt like another lifetime. I personally left that moment that I had with thoughts about how far I'd personally come as well, okay? So even though this is your reading, we are all in this together. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Too many cards. What do we have at the solar plexus? I only need one. What do we have at the solar plexus? Nine of Pentacles, Virgo energy, Amdusius, underneath that Seven of Swords at the solar plexus. This is that energy. It's like this is how they look once they're caught. Like, oh, I didn't know. You know, people need to be careful messing with you, Aqua, okay? Because this is bigger than you, all right? Which really speaks about what you're here to do. See, they just see little old you, right? but they don't understand the domino effects that you are going to create on your path, whatever that may be. They don't understand the influence that you may have. They don't understand what the universe is preparing you for, but they have no problem standing in your way and draining you of your life force energy. But they're going to find out, because keeping you from something in this capacity here is going to come with heavy consequences. Because who's to say that you weren't supposed to be somewhere at a very specific time that may have had an influential effect on somebody else's life? Maybe it would have saved somebody's life. Who knows? There's 1,000,000+ ways that this could unfold. But simply put, standing in your way is standing in the way of the divine's will for your life. It's like these individuals here, whoever this is, have spent all their time and energy taking advantage of you and holding you back and creating setbacks on your path. And if this has to do with that spiritual abuse that I picked up, it's people projecting this hateful energy onto you that you've carried with you on your path. So again, you can see now how it's all the same. It all comes down to creating some sort of barricade to stop you from pushing forward in power. What do we have at the heart, please? You know, when I was speaking about how challenging, right, this energy was here, the one card that we didn't have up here that I was thinking about was the Ten of Swords. And now we get it right here. Malfast, Gemini energy. Cruelty, right? So they're just about all here, Aqua. All of the most challenging cards, for the most part, are on this table. There's really only a few missing. But this is the energy of someone who's had to fight a battle to get to where they are about to arrive at. Ten of Swords is another card of betrayal. It's also a card of self-sacrificing, right? Which is what I picked up at the beginning of the reading. It can also be a card of victimization, right? So it's like they want to make a victim out of you because they know if they make a victim out of you, you won't push forward in power on your path. And they can continue to use you and drain you of your life force energy year after year after year until there's no more years left. And then you've wasted this entire life cycle on nothing. Don't do that, Aqua. Don't be that person that looks back over their life and wishes they would have done things differently. Be that person that looks back over their life and knows that they left no stone unturned, that they squeezed every drop they could out of every opportunity that was ever presented to them. Now, you can't make up for what you may have missed out on in the past. Again, we've all gone through this. But you can take the power back and change the trajectory of your life moving forward. Then we have Ri'a'el, which is the Three of Swords, love and submission. Now we're seeing an energy of healing come through, Aqua. I feel this intense pressure release as well. It's like you're releasing the pain and the sorrow of the past. There's a more optimistic energy that's starting to flood through now. Spiritual, physical, mental healing all underway. And it's right there at the heart chakra. Three of Swords at the heart. It's an energy of complete recovery. What do we have at the throat, please? Ah, here we go. Now we're talking. The Fool. Ve'uia, the exalting God. Will and new beginnings. Assists with difficult and great undertakings. Now we are seeing this new beginning unfold in your life, Aqua. It's like there's this fresh hope that's beginning to flood through. You're on the new timeline. I can feel it. This is what this is indicating here. The message that I've delivered here to you has been received, and it has been implemented onto your path. For a lot of you, it's this reading that is going to trigger something May not happen right away. May happen in a few days, may happen in a few weeks. It may work in combination with some other things you see and come across on your path. But what this suggests is that the universe is working overtime right now to get the messages through to you that you need to create the awakening to push through to the other side. And I'm thinking about what I mentioned in regard to your guides on the other side helping this take place, right? Pay attention to the songs. Could be that what I said about Stand By Me has to do with songs you may hear that transport you to moments in time, right? This could suggest that when you hear these songs and you connect them to people that are no longer around, that you're being looked after, you're being helped, you're being guided, you're being cloaked. Aqua. What do we have at the third eye, please? Unbelievable. Now it's all coming out. The High Priestess, Iahia, God the Eternal Lasting, success, protection from magistrates. So, High Priestess, energy of divine guidance, and it's right there at the third eye. Okay, and this is also speaking about your intuitive guidance and downloads that you're receiving right now. The messages, the signs, the synchronicities. There's a lot going on. Just pay attention. Open your eyes, Aqua. Open your ears. Turn on the radio. What's playing? Go outside. How are the animals and the weather reacting to you? How do you feel? All of this is telling me that there's downloads waiting to come through for you. You just need to position yourself to receive. If you feel called to go somewhere, do it. Don't hesitate. Challenge yourself to act as quickly as possible. Challenge yourself right now, Aqua, to react as quickly as possible to any opportunities that may come your way, and to react as quickly as possible to any sort of intuitive guidance you get. Push yourself. Now's the time for it. The best version of you is preparing to culminate with your current consciousness awareness of who you are in this current life cycle. So get out of your own way and flow with the messages and the signs that are all around you. What do we have at the crown, please, to close this out for Aqua? 10 of Swords. I only read these ones as uprights. At the crown. Gemini energy. So we have 10 of Swords twice now. Luia, the marvelous God. Revelation. Protects from sadness. Gives revelations in dreams. Now, this is actually a perfect card to end this reading with, because whenever I look at this card, it looks like this is a seal, right? And there's all those little eyes on it. It's like this is the seal, the portal that has been closed behind you, right? As you step into that new timeline. This is the previous life cycle. And there's all those eyes, right? Watching you. The 10 of Swords, in combination with these cards that are ending this reading, the Fool, the High Priestess, 10 of Swords, is a very positive energy, because the 10 of Swords is an energy of a new beginning. You have overcome a massive cycle in your life, Aqua. And this is one of these cycles. This is one of these timeline jumps that shifts the entire trajectory of your life, right? Again, we make decisions in every given moment that align us with different possibilities, but this is a monumental shift. The world around you just seems different, but it's really not. It's just the way you perceive it, right? It's your perception. That's what timeline jumping really is. Your perception of the world around you is now based on this new version of you, right? You have a new vessel. You're experiencing things differently. You're more self-empowered, right? So you engage things in a different way. It's an energy of regeneration. It's an energy of a new start, Aqua. So whatever this represents for you, I certainly hope that this message that I've channeled through for you here can help you get a little bit closer to making the decisions you need to push through and step into this new beginning. Aqua, this is the message I have available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video, and thank you for your donations, Aqua. Take care.